Happy Money Making Monday, y'all. Woo! When I say it has been a week, I've learned a lot and I'm excited to share. We're hopping on a little later this morning. Well, not too late. It's like a couple minutes after 8, but we promised to give you content and just real legacy building concepts on Monday mornings. Um, and I am honored to show up and to deliver that to you. My background's a little different. I literally just ran in the house maybe an hour ago and had to freshen up and do a couple things around the house. But I want to share what I've learned planning a funeral. And loss of life, loss of family. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for hopping in. Thank you all for joining us every Monday. Share this with somebody. Mercedes may not be on this morning. I'm not 100% sure, but like I said, between Mercedes and I, we're always committed to coming so real with you all. And I just wanted to share my experience over the last week or so. It'll actually be a week tomorrow. So recently lost a loved one, and going through the process of planning the funeral, especially being a licensed life insurance agent with all of the accreditations and information that I understand about legacy building and all of that. And it's been I'm kind of the go-to in my family for a lot, and even in my extended family. So I'll say the last time I probably had an active, like as deep as I am in this particular loved one's planning, may have been like 2019, 2016, 2019 had some loved ones that I had to be pretty hands-on with, but it definitely is a different experience, and I've learned so much or been reminded of so much. And I want to share with you all when we get to the point that it is time that our loved one has transitioned and it is time for us to make plans and arrangements for them. I want to go over 3 things that I've learned that has shocked me being a professional in the industry. One, everything costs. And I know that's kind of like, duh, Quintaria, everything costs. But what I'm saying is, even having life insurance policies in place and all of that, if you don't have the cash up front, you are almost escorted immediately to third-party vendors that will guarantee that funds will be made and paid up front. And you may even be asked to sign over a portion of your life insurance and things of that nature. Now, something similar used to happen, a couple years back, but funeral homes were more willing to just confirm that you had insurance coming. Now, baby, that game has changed, and I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. As a business strategist, I definitely see and understand why the industry has transitioned to this, but I just want families to know that having insurance alone, having an active policy, although that is a wonderful thing and a good thing, it is still additional things that you need to consider and things that you need to know before your loved one transitions, or just know that when they transition, you could have $100,000 life insurance policy on them. But to move forward, depending on the time that you want your services to take place and all of that, it is not expedited like it used to be a few years ago. Like I said, you're usually kind of shuttled to these third-party vendors who you make a agreement with to kind of, like I said, you have to do like indemnity forms and things of that nature to sign over a portion, but there's no middle ground. Either you stroking a check or swiping a credit card, immediately, or there are these companies that you must work with. But get everything in writing. Make sure that you're reviewing your contracts. One thing that I would even say is I definitely have always appreciate people who pre-plan their funerals and things of that nature. But the way things have shifted, baby, if you could get those arrangements already in place, and definitely understanding that the more you can pay for in advance, even when you have a life insurance policy, even when the policies are in place and the policies are intact. Because so what I have realized on this journey is that much of your control, or the ability for you and your family to say what you want to happen, is limited based upon whether you have money up front, meaning the cash in hand, not the policy. The policy is beautiful, but you definitely will be paying up to a 12% interest rate, waiting for the insurance money. So that's just something that I have learned, and I've seen, and I wanted to share with you all. Another thing that I have learned throughout this process, and we're still actually going through the process, but another thing that I've learned is everyone says, let me know if you need anything. And I sincerely believe they mean that. Let me know if you need anything. But you got to assign them tasks clearly, baby. I speak a lot about our superpowers, and, I talk a lot about my team. Yeah, y'all, I'm makeup. Yeah, well, I'm not a big makeup person anyway, but today I'm just like freshly showered and hopping on here. So, you get what you get, like nearly 50 face, honey. Still, proud of it. No ring light today. Like, y'all just getting straight up Quintaria. But let me get back to one of the second most important thing that I have learned that I want to share with you all, or I've been reminded of, is when loved ones ask if you let me know if you need anything, they mean well, but without clear roles and even considering personality types and all of that, considering, who is better at what, it can get crazy real quick. So don't just ask people to help randomly. Ask them specifically for, like, almost assign exactly what you need people to do. Like just the other day, I had 4 specific people. I'm like, I need you all to help me write the obituary. I need you to make travel plans for our guests that are coming from over 100 miles away. I need you to contact caterers and find out Be very specific, even when it comes down to, who is needs to work together and things of that nature. I know that it definitely is a painful and challenging time, like that is the biggest understatement, but it does help us to make it through this challenging time if we keep some of these things in mind. So number one, everything costs. Everything got a dollar amount to it. Like, you can do it up for mama, grandmama, granddaddy, or whatever, but everything has a cost to it, which, like in this day and age, we're not shocked about that so much. But knowing that if you're actually going to have services before you have your check in hand from your insurance company, you definitely will be sent to a finance company, and those finance charges are no joke. That, like, and not that I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like I said before, from a business perspective, I was like, okay, like, can't knock the hustle. However, from a grieving family member standpoint, it was like, yo, like, man, like, you got to know your options. You got to know, like, what you're getting involved in, and just to let someone know in advance some of the things that I'm learning. If it can help you all know I am super, super excited to share, so that your experiences and your legacy can be, as best they can during times like this. The third thing that I'll say is, I was just reminded of planning a funeral is still just like planning an event. It's like putting together Cowboy Carter. The only difference is, we're grieving, but a funeral is a production, baby. You got a timeline, venue, logistics, meals, seating, allergies. You got a whole lot to consider. and you're under usually tight deadlines. And plus, like I said, all of the emotional weight. So even though you're emotional, one of the things I can say is I'm part of the family and things of that nature. But in terms of like the son, the husband, the children and things of that nature, I was not necessarily that close. So having a person who is close, but still separated just enough that we can keep a little more of our wits about ourselves. You want to have a go-to person. You want to have, like that friend or person or family member who gets things done and can move. And I don't want to say without emotions, because to lose a loved one, it's just emotional. That's just what it is. Like you're honoring and remembering someone, but someone that can manage their grief in such a way that you all are able to continue to push this production forward, because it definitely is a production. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But with that said, it definitely has, even going through this process this past week, has even allowed me to consider how I would advocate for or even position clients that are looking to purchase life insurance and things of that nature, or that are building their legacy, that are considering what they want to leave to their kids and things of that nature. Like, it has changed the way I will have conversations with my clients, family, friends, when we talk about legacy and asset protection and things of that nature. It has changed how I will have that conversation moving forward. Another key piece that I guess it could have been the fourth point, but I didn't really consider it when I sat down today to have a conversation with you all. But our wills and our trust funds, we need those. Your health directives, like, have a will. Do not put your family in a position where we're trying to figure out what you may have wanted, what colors you may have wanted, and all of that. I know that it is not the most exciting thing for us to do or to handle, but it is one of the ways we can love our family and love our legacy, to do our best to try to alleviate some of those questions or concerns, because it has definitely been a slight worry to make sure, like, are we doing this the way he or she would want it? Like, like, I hope that this is okay with them or whatever. So just to remove that burden from friends, family members, and the people who love you, who will have to prepare things for you when you transition, I definitely recommend writing things down, having a will, having, like I said, pre-planning your funeral if you can, or if nothing else, having your information somewhere where it can be kind of easily found when the time is necessary, when the time comes, for people to know what your desires are, what you would have wanted, how, like, just how you kind of visualize things, what's important, what's not so important, so if you have things that other people can kind of take the lead on, but if you have some deal breakers and you like, do not put me over there where grandma is, because I can't stand that busy street or whatever. But if you, whatever your desires are, letting your family know that it is such a kind gift for those of us who are left to survive and grieve, and just to celebrate you. I've got to get back to planning and preparing and loving my family. I thank you all so much for joining me. I thank y'all for taking me however I show up. When I show up glamorous, y'all take me. When I show up, plopped in my den, like, just giving you what I got from where I am, you all receive me in that space as well too. And I appreciate it. I trust and pray that you all are building dynamic legacies. Like I said, this experience has definitely shaped and molded the way that I consider how I will talk to clients and position clients so that they can really have a peaceful experience when it comes time for us to transition, or for loved ones that we would be responsible for planning their services and things of that nature. I've learned so much, and as always, when I learn, I share it with you all. You all go and be great. Happy Money Making Mondays. And I will see you, if not next Monday, hopefully I'll see you before on a call so I can personalize this information and share, and we can set up something directly for you and your family so that you can have the legacy that you desire as well. My name is Quintaria Brunson, better known as Madam CEO, and I will see you all next Monday.